Is it? Oh my god, these are eyes in the nose. It is Elmo's. Wait, that's cool. Take it back. That's the best goddamn chair I've ever seen. That's some Ed Gein shit. So I don't think this is illegal, right? Oh, it is. It's very illegal. What the f do you mean? Alright, I'm down to do 50 minutes on this. Now I'm pretty invested. Needs to be some quantum.
This house is sponsored by a company called like Wizz or some shit. I haven't paid rent at all, but I could do. And if you guys could literally help me come up with giveaways, like challenges and like last person to blah 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 gets blah 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 blah. Like I could literally promote it how I want to do it, how we want to do it. You guys can help me decide. Like
you some big healing anime and
they're
Fraggle.
Actually really cool dudes, bro, and they're just like me. Like they own Roobet, they own that site, right?
In fact,
I want this lifestyle watch to be like in display, like in here, like a museum. It sits there, like from Alfonso LLC.
you know, if I'm not mistaken, those
they're different.
The same watch, but in the first clip, he nods to the idea of Roobet, you know. But in the second clip, he just blatantly said Alfonso. So this
I
guy,
can't. I've tried
honestly,
cranking out as much as I
messing up the
can.
names. Listen to this whole clip here, and you'll
Maybe
hear it for
5
yourself.
Kbits straight.
He keeps
Jesus,
using
man,
the
thank
name
you.
Alan, and then like
you
literally
try?
5 seconds later, Roobet gets mentioned.
I got ripped off extremely.
What'd you
on
pay?
this.
30?
No. We don't even want to talk about it.
What does Steve will do it
I got
do?
ripped off extremely.
Seems like he
my
just
buddy, where's my
complains about spending money.
buddy, my friend,
While spending money.
Yesterday, he gifted me this. I won't ever wear that because
Yeah.
I got ripped off and I hate it.
He just drinks?
So whenever I found out I did,
You paid over 30.
yeah.
I've watched Nelk before, but I don't think I've
I
ever
already told
seen
you this.
Steve will do it.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
At least I don't remember him.
I paid 60.
Oh, this one's super nice.
But so my buddy gifted me
Roobet.
I really do want to hear these videos. We want to provide the most sides of the that we actually can, okay? We want to give you the most facts that you can deal with to make a conclusion for yourself. There's no real gain for
That's
us
no
to
fun.
paint
Tell me what
things
to
in a
think.
specific way. So if Wizza has something to say, I'll definitely make sure to reflect it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I asked Wizza about the Allen connection, and in an actual DM with us, the CEO, in fact, if you can look here, the actual person claims that they are the CEO and an owner. I have full authority to speak on the behalf of my company and our entire team. So in this message to me, they actually said, I've seen the theory circulating on Reddit and YouTube. Allen seems to be the center of attention and is the obvious connection between the two companies. However, that's nothing out of the ordinary, since he does work on both companies, quite obviously on influencer relationships. So it's interesting that we actually have this mention. So Allen is, I guess, confirmed to be close to Wizza, at least in terms of influencer relations. Roobet is actually a website that operates under the government of Curaçao, using a master license of gaming services provider NV8048/Jazz. Now, if Roobet sounds familiar, it's because I've already covered it in a video before, when I looked into the gambling epidemic that sort of peaked a couple months back. Now, Roobet, you may have actually heard of being used by large streamers, in fact, Twitch's largest streamer as far as I know. You may have seen Aiden Ross,
Logan Paul's friend,
FaZe Banks, Rice Gum, and various members of Nelk, and again, Steve will do it. You might have even seen famous police informant, or sorry, rapper Tekashi69 gambling online on Roobet with our good friend Steve will do it. So
this looks like a lot of fun.
Choice for some of the
You
LA
get to
crowd
flip
out there.
kangaroo
Now, if you
tiles.
go to YouTube and type in the words Roobet, you can actually straight up see that, yeah, it's probably one of the most popular. Can you make money Roobet betting? I don't know. Here you got a Fillion video, which is a pretty solid banger as far as I've seen. You've got I tested guaranteed cash profits. There's no guarantees in a casino unless you're really
I tested guaranteed cash profit. Good man, he's playing the game.
The dark side of Roobet. The creepy online game needs to be stopped. We'll get to all that later on, Buck. Now, if we actually use our good old Wayback Machine, you can see that we're on Roobet.com. This is the site right now. Now, through Wayback Machine, we're actually able to go to Roobet.com as it appeared in the year 2020. In fact, we can go even further. Well, 2021 won't load, but 2020 loads just fine. Now, on the current site at the moment, if you scroll all the way bottom, you'll notice that Roobet.com is a brand new Raw Entertainment BV, registration number 1572005. And of course, they are licensed underneath in Curaçao with 8048/Jazz. In Curaçao, there are basically 4 licenses that grant sub-licenses.
I don't even know where Curaçao is in the world. I've never heard of it. Sounds like something from Star Wars.
It's basically a giant mess over there that's going through some level of a restructuring. It says the seal validation page has expired since it was generated on October 2nd, 2021. So currently at the time of filming, it's October the 4th. I also want to just quickly update this by going back to.
Well, let's just gamble. Mudahar should see what the odds are too.
Actually, go down and show you that.
Thoroughly evaluate each scam.
So you finally get this like validator once again that I didn't see any time that I was recording, and their license does actually appear to be valid. So good job on that.
Exit Prime,
again, this is kind of the basic shit you have to deal with when you're working with an offshore casino, okay? Because when you're dealing with any offshore casino, especially one where the influencers are, a good chunk of them based in the United States, catering to American players who probably are firing up VPNs just to use the service, that becomes a bit of a problem, okay? Because it's offshore, because you're using a VPN and you're violating whatever TOS that they have, if you look directly into their terms of services, by using VPNs, you warrant not to use any form of VPN or other methods or program to hide your IP or state of origin unless you went through full ID and address verification as described.
Well, what does this all mean with Steve? He can't read.
So again, if you don't live in the United States,
so how does this apply to him?
And they find out, and suddenly they have to give you $100 grand back if you ever won it. You may not ever see that money because congratulations, you're not supposed to be playing in this casino. So again, it becomes a bit of an issue. Now, Curacao, being in the Dutch Caribbean, is basically a constituent country of the Netherlands. And the Netherlands is currently dealing with actually fixing some of these issues right now. So sites like
nice. Just in time.
may actually have difficulty operating in Curacao in the next coming year or two. Because right now, because of the pandemic and aid packages being offered through, for instance, if you're reading on casino.org right now, which is the world's online gaming authority, they're straight up telling you Rogue Online Gaming Hub Curacao vows to clean up its act in return for COVID-19 rescue packages. Curaçao's days as a haven for shady online gaming sites.
What a cool thing to be known for.
A financial bailout package from the Dutch government.
Like an actual hub for scams.
The island has been told to clean up its act. And here they're talking about the 4 master licenses, where one of the actual quotes right here is sub-licenses are relatively inexpensive and quick to easy and acquire. Once an operator is up and running, taxes are low, regulatory oversight is almost non-existent, and operators are free to target whichever markets they wish. If you go and try to get a Curacao gaming license, there are plenty of people out there willing to assist.
Wait, I can actually just apply for one?
That'll help you get that license. Again, it costs a certain amount of money for sure, but whatever you're paying is definitely negligible in comparison to the money you'd be raking in operating a very successful casino. Now, we looked at Roobets' KYC clause, okay? If you are playing from like some major countries that they have banned, don't expect to get
start up a good crypto scam to fund Moisty Esports.
I've actually done some test gambling. I've degenerated myself a little bit for this video right here.
Let's go
to the site and put in some money. If you click on the history for my account, you can see that
Mudahar makes millions of dollars.
$17. This is a Bitcoin deposit.
Deletes the video.
$60 of Ethereum in, and then $20 of Ethereum. All in all, I put in less than about $100, but I actually used some of the slots. So I played Rue Bonanza and Tome of Madness, where I lost $1.60, another $1.60, but then I made $10 almost. And then I lost 20 cents on a Rue Bonanza and another 20 cents. So I guess, in a way, I must have made some money. Again, transaction fees be damned, right? And gentlemen, this is important. Now, it's clear that there are sponsorships being tossed around. And obviously, when you're sponsored, you get given some compensation, okay? That's just generally how a sponsorship works. You make money. Now, what comes...
You could just not do it, though, for a crypto casino, right? Like, what are they going to do? Sue you?
So
they're running an illegal casino.
Aiden Ross, who's an individual that actually ended up leaking how much money they were making throughout this entire deal. It actually made the news. It was on Dexerto and a lot of, like, you know, internet sites out there. Yeah, right here from a stream clip, our buddy Aiden Ross was...
Yeah, I remember this one.
Duelbits, another online casino, right? In fact, you can look at Duelbits right now. Here's Duelbits. Bam, bam. Here, crypto casino. This is not a new concept. Everyone's running these operations. But if you look into here, they offered me a bag. I offered you guys nearly 2M. That's million buckos a month.
What a deal. What a deal.
Math, kids, that's a lot of money per year. I need dick. You offered 1.4 and didn't want to cover expenses. Imagine making over 7 figures and still needing the expenses covered. Jesus Christ. What kind of expenses? Well, let's try to figure that out. Roobet covering expenses. Plus we get referral code money. We are getting more. Sorry, bro. Maybe we can work again someday. Sad face. You kept all your referral code money as a group, lol. I offered 1.6. So yeah, they're making somewhere...
I do remember when that leaked.
$2 million. If I told you, hey guys, this whiskey is thebomb.com. I drink it every night. and I'm drinking whiskey on live streams every night, plugging in a code. Okay?
I'd have to buy that whiskey.
Code wasted.
If it's good enough for Mudahar, it's good enough for me.
Find out I'm not drinking whiskey. I'm chugging apple juice. Okay, I'm chugging some good old appy juice. Well, at that point, it becomes unethical because I'm promoting a destructive product to you, an addictive product, and I'm also not harming my own health. In fact, if anything, my viewers are then buying the product. I'm making the money, and your health is being harmed. It'd be one thing if I was getting wasted as well. That'd be fine and dandy, okay? Then the ethical nature wouldn't be as damning. But I find it really hard with all this money being thrown at the actual streamer and them losing some of this money that they aren't coming out somewhere on top. At the end of the day, streaming is a business, okay? If anything, if you are actually down, you should get out of it and stop promoting it to your... Because if you're given this much of a leg up in gambling and you're still down, imagine what the viewers are going through. So
if you're that down after such help, okay? You're just not good at it. Gambling's free money, baby. It's all about skill.
Bitcoin transactions
gotta finesse those slot machines.
Some of these streamers maybe have actually put some of their own money in.
Tell them to stop being so naughty.
I showed you earlier how I gambled. I threw money into Roobets. So let me show you how an actual normal transaction looks like. Let's say that you were to go to Roobets. Well, if you put Bitcoin into Roobet, I'm going to use a tool called Explorer by Critikal blockchain to show you a transaction. So
we have the worst audio levels on this site, dude. You're 1,000 times louder than every video.
That people put money into.
I don't know what you want me to do about that, man.
And that's pretty much how it works. So I put in that amount of Bitcoin into
some videos are quieter than others.
This account then sends that Bitcoin
is what it is.
to this 3QTU. Now, this 3QTU has 443,000 transactions. If you look at the owner, according to Critikal Blockchain, it's Roobet. If you look at my intermediary wallet and you check its owner, it's Roobet. So my money goes to an intermediary wallet,
check
which
this out.
then credits my
Let me
account
throw on my volume
with that much
extension.
BTC you're seeing, and then a couple days later, it then sends that
now
money to the big giant Roobet wallet. So you understand, and if you look at the amount of money, that's 11,609 Bitcoin just sitting in there, and it constantly gets received and then sent. Right now, according to the last time this was checked, it has around 40 Bitcoin. How much is 40 Bitcoin? Well, let's do the quick math. That's how much is sitting in the hot wallet. $1.8 million. Okay, almost 1.9 million. Okay, 1.9 million. All right, let's just round it up. That's how much money is sitting in the account. All right, you understand that? That's not chump change. Now again,
it is to Aiden Ross. That's a monthly deposit.
Litecoin, where the real difference is for Bitcoin, I can request new address now with 986,000 transactions. In fact, these are all dependent transactions right now.
So the house is losing.
People are requesting money out of Roobet. So it's very active. And here's me again putting money later into Roobet. You can actually see that according to the actual hours, I put in money earlier that day, then a few hours later, I gave money to good old Roobet. And you can actually see this reflected in my account history. So all of my deposits in this case,
I think he's just proving that Roobet functions
and then a few
and
hours
explaining
later,
how it works. Not necessarily that it's a big scam yet.
Now again, I'm just telling you this is what an account looks like. When you go to the Ethereum intermediary wallet, I put money into it, and then almost about a day later, Roobet then takes money from that Ethereum intermediary wallet and then sends it to the Roobet hot wallet. So it's all a cyclical thing, okay? The Roobet hot wallet
it's not really a big scam.
Ethereum
what are you talking about?
Okay, it puts an Ethereum there from these intermediary wallets and it gives from the Roobet hot wallet when people want to take their money out of Roobet onto their own wallets. That's how the whole chain works. Now, to understand, I just doxed my Ethereum account for Roobet, okay? So now everyone in the world can go to those addresses and confirm exactly what I'm doing with the money.
And they can send you money.
If I send the $130
pretty good idea.
Account, you will know what account I'm sending money to.
Just toss you some Ethereum.
Blockchain. It's all verified. It's all out
Roobet
there.
Can tip
it's
you
all
now.
Recorded forever. Now, it's one thing to just speculate and throw all this stuff around. It's another thing to get lucky. See, in this case, how it worked is, as I showed you my Bitcoin wallet address, I doxed myself. These things are actually pretty ironclad and anonymous, provided the user doesn't just happen to give it out somewhere. Now, you can imagine when you're streaming for hours on end, you're probably going to end up giving up an address that you probably shouldn't in the grand scheme of things to a bunch of people investigating over the internet. So, for instance, we had to watch a few hours of Aiden Ross and various other streamers like the Nelk Boys. Trust me, it was a truly mentally taxing experience. But we got lucky because in 1 hour and 48 minutes of this one random stream that was done on 06, 24, 20,
Aiden Ross is such a
Baby,
liability.
Banks, Rice Scum, and more. and more, you actually found out that he leaked his Bitcoin deposit address, so his Bitcoin intermediary wallet. Now, it's a pretty low quality over there, but we ended up, basically using our big brains, and we ended up finding out that it was 1D153 RGEG. So copy that into blockchain history, and boy, get ready to watch this wild beast. Boys and girls out there, I'm going to Control-V this good old address in. Now, of course, it says there are 2 blockchains with your result. Now, trust me, this is not something where, you can just accidentally put anything out. It's both ways.
Oh, I'm ready.
Aiden Ross didn't put a dime of his money into that Bitcoin wallet address. So, boys and girls, let's go back. How much money does Aiden Ross have in the account? $300,000. For those of you who want to quantify that in a stupid car purchase, that's the price of 2 Lamborghinis, okay? If you buy right. Ladies and gentlemen, where did he
Not bad.
This guy was just straight up given $300K. Now, that's not the wildest thing. On the Aiden account, this is the Aiden account. Unless he requested a new Bitcoin address, Aiden never put in a dime of his own money to gamble. Is it really gambling? Is it really high-stakes gambling?
Yeah, you can just cash out that $300K
of your money to begin with. No, it's not. To reiterate, this is my Bitcoin wallet, okay? So you can see right here that I threw it into an actual intermediary wallet for me on Roobet, and then it went to Roobet a while later. So I actually put my money in, but when I look at the Bitcoin wallet for Aiden in this case, there is literally 0 transactions that have ever happened. So again, unless you're requesting new addresses or something, we clearly see that there is no transactional history, at least from Aiden. So it's all happening in the back end. Now, it's not
who cares the least about all this?
Boys, for instance,
Aiden Ross
Kyle,
fans.
One of the big Nelk boys out there.
He openly says he scams them, and they just cheer it on, like, yeah, you did, you got us.
Right now, on day 10,
still interesting to learn about, though.
High stakes gambling. Oh yeah. Okay, let's hit play on this one. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we just watch this, all right, and go a little bit further, he clicks the deposit key. Now go frame by frame. Bam! Look at that wallet address. Again, translating it from this gibberish of 360p has its own special merit. So again, if you take that address and you go into the blockchain explorer buckos, and again, I want to tell you, okay, if you go in here and you just change random words around, this has been transacted 0 times. This has been transacted 0 times. Is it really gambling if you haven't put in money? But Murda, does he have any money in Bitcoin in there? Oh yeah, around $90,000 worth of Bitcoin is sitting in the account. You can compare it by the symbols too. Yeah, unless they're requesting new addresses. Look, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, all right? But I'm not seeing any transactions.
I can assure you Steve wasn't requesting new addresses. He literally can't read.
Oh, but Muda, how are they
He doesn't know what that button says.
Well, I mean, sponsorships are sponsorships, right? But I think the real big concern that I'm kind of having is when they're pushing their codes, all right? You'll always see it in their video, okay? They're always pushing some code. Use code FULLSEND. Or at least in Aiden Ross's case, it's use code FAM, all right? Now, if you go to good old Roobets, for instance, they do have an affiliate program, okay? So if you go to your account right here, you can click on affiliate, and they do actually have a referral link. But the commission, if you look at Roobets' own website, is all about this. Affiliates receive a commission of 5% of the mathematical house edge on all of their referrals wagers, with that percentage increasing as the referrer climbs the tiers. Each player starts at 5%. It increases by 1%, maxing out to 15%. The tiers are climbed
At least Steve gives the money away sometimes.
So the more people you get into Roobets...
Yeah, he scams me, but he also gave the money to one of his friends once, so that was cool.
Their wagers. So if they're losing,
why are you trying to find a bright side, man?
If they're wagering, you're
you in the mouth.
off of the fans
like, what do you mean?
So you're not spending your own money, it seems, at least from the Bitcoin transactions or lack thereof that we've seen. But then all of a sudden, your fans are coming in, pouring $100 here, $1,000 there. If they're getting really degenerate, tens of thousands of dollars, but you're comfortable making the bag, and then making a further cream on top of your fans losing some of their money. Now, that doesn't mean sometimes you don't come across the third scenario. Somebody has a connection.
I don't find this bad at all. Cucklord Andy. Well, that checks out. Your chat history, you've only said 9 things. 4 of them were spamming PogChamp, and then the other 5 are saying, it's honestly not a big deal, it's not bad, oh well, and I don't find this bad. Yeah, I mean, that sounds about right. Hey man, I have no problem with it either. The people are begging to be scammed by influencers. They're just giving them what they want. It's very interesting to learn about. It's not like it's going to outrage me. Like I said, people literally beg to get scammed. And then when they get scammed, they're like totally fine with it. It's crazy. As evident from that guy. I'm going to go pee now though, so I'll be right back. Oh, this is a pretty crazy account. You have only ever said 18 things in this chat and they're all about Aiden Ross for the last 6 months. I barely even talk about Aiden Ross. I've only mentioned him like twice in my life. I don't really have a problem with the guy. I don't watch his shit. But almost all of your comments came tonight saying Aiden doesn't know what he's doing. He's just got a lot of bad influence around him. What are you, like his mom? How is it a scam? It's just promoting gambling like any other gambling promotion. You said that 5 times. Well, it's her fault. What's she doing breaking the rules? I don't know what that's in reference to. He already said he gets fills. He already said he gets fills. Aiden said he already gets fills and it isn't his money, so it's not exposing anything. See what I'm saying? People literally love getting scammed. Like, they actually welcome it. That's why I'm not mad about it. They're providing a service that people are begging for. People are obsessed with internet celebrities and they don't care if they're getting used. At the end of the day, he gets to spam W in the Aiden Ross chat and feel like he's part of a family. So of course they're going to come here and defend him, like, on everything, even when it's at their own expense. I highly doubt that guy's old enough to gamble, but if he was and he lost money, I think he would immediately forgive Aiden. I just find it all very interesting at the end of the day. Doesn't make me mad. It's just, I think it's just a really interesting situation here. But to answer your question, him saying that it's just Phil's and not his money doesn't make it any less shitty. Hey guys, this is a gambling site I'm sponsored by. I'm gonna gamble tonight. It's not my money, so I'm not like actually gambling, but you guys should go put your money in there because I make money when you do. It's still immoral. Like, just because he's up front that he's not actually using his money doesn't make it any less awful. Like, I don't know what you, like, your point doesn't really work.
Now, in the first scenario, I put in money, it went to an intermediary wallet, and it went to Roobets' wallet later on. So I was a legitimate case. Now, of course, you have influencers like the ones we've just seen who are actually not putting in their money, at least from their Bitcoin addresses, as far as I was able to tell, except they were getting it from what it appears to be the back end of the site. But you have a third scenario where people who are connected to the actual site, at least from transactions, it seems, are actually gambling pretty heavily. So let's go tie back real quick. Remember that video we watched earlier where Alfonso or Alan was sort of brought into the mix by our friend Steve? There was another character named Doom13.
Yeah.
Doom13 just basically
was that 1.2 million? 1.2 million?
His intermediary wallet, and it goes from the actual exchange to the wallet.
This guy's in deep.
In certain cases, you can see that he literally puts money in. It goes to the Roobet hot wallet later, okay, a few hours later as expected. However,
what an idiot. Just get sponsored.
Sometimes you see the Roobet
you don't have to gamble your money.
Why is this important? Well, if you don't know, the second largest whale, and you'll find out later in this video what I mean by that, but as a quick example, the second largest whale basically means from the actual Roobet hot wallet where all these funds eventually pull to,
Captain
the second largest place where Roobet's hot wallet sends money to is the second largest whale. So why is it that Doom's wallet has money from the second largest whale funneling in? So when you really get a chance to look into these intermediary wallets, you can start to really trace a lot of connections between one another. So again, in Doom's case, this guy does seem like a genuine gambler, but it is odd that you start to see Roobet's second largest whale. So imagine the flow. Roobet's hot wallet goes
I would have expected the second largest whale to have much more invested.
Puts it into Doom's intermediary wallet, and then the intermediary wallet sends it back to Roobet. So now that we've gone over these three scenarios, let's go back to Aiden and Kyle and really start to understand that they're not.
You mean Steve?
Their wallets don't show any transactions at all in Bitcoin. Where is that Bitcoin coming from? Is it credited on the back end? Is some mystery benefactor giving it to them? Well, here's where we're going to introduce a character known as Howie. So there's a character known as Howie on Roobet, okay? Howie is kind of like the marketing person, okay? You can see on Roobet's own website that they're like, who's seen Howie? Who's seen Howie? Don't think Howie is like Spuds
That's adorable.
Right?
That's just
Howie
adorable.
Is the person that everyone needs to go to. See, even as a multi-millionaire, sometimes you have to give up some of your dignity, and you have to.
This is pretty boring stuff. I find it interesting. This is a multi-million-dollar scam.
Yeah, Howie, fill up my gambling cup. I'm all out. Listen to some of this. It's fucking.
This is a huge scam.
I'm gonna do that, Howie. You're weird as bro.
What the did he ask for this time?
What's it hot, bro?
Just get your little hot then.
Let ass.
Yeah, do it how he says. Yeah, you little naughty boy. Yeah, you
Dog,
fucking
can
follow
make
Howie's
$1 million
rules.
a goddamn month, but man, once a clip like that is floating out on the internet, dude, your dignity just goes all the way down.
What a
the whole
naughty
day.
boy.
Get that back, King, I guess, right?
Almost
Go through all you need to.
misbehaved.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the kind of stuff you have to do to get that cup filled up, buckos. That's how you get the fills. Now, it's also interesting looking into some of these other characters. Like, let's listen into this one real quick. Whenever Nelk, for instance, runs out of their money, how do you think they get it back?
Howie?
Watch this.
We just lost 15 racks. All right, well,
It's called Howie.
that was a test.
Let's call Howie.
Let's call Howie.
He's his own
Not
Alpha
really sure what
Beast,
happened there.
the Prime Butter
We
Dog,
need to call
Louis,
Howie.
and
We
the
need
recent
to
Bellin.
call Howie off screen. Because that was
Thanks, Psych.
So they got to call Howie? Well, let's see what Howie's going to do. They just lost 15 racks. If you look at their Bitcoin wallet here, they're sitting at a toasty $0, okay? God damn. Don't worry, guys. Howie comes in clutch. Look at that Bitcoin wallet up top. They're back to playing Crash. Same exact stream that we were watching.
Let's go, Howie.
Damn, boys. You saw it right there. God damn. 15K straight up caught. Just credited to the account. Now, again, we looked at Kyle's, Bitcoin wallet that I guess he showed during this high stakes gambling, extravaganza. And it don't seem like our buddy was just randomly throwing in money. So 15K just being granted out to you. Again, it's not to say that the money is fake. Clearly, it's real.
There's you some coin.
But is it the influencers? Is it really gambling if it's, money from the house? Come on now. See, again, people run in with a lot of these conspiracies, but at the same time, when you actually are able to track down somebody's wallet and really look at the lack thereof transactions, no one can really jump on and all of a sudden say, yeah, I was spending my own money. Dude, I looked at the Bitcoin transaction. You're gambling in Bitcoin. Now, let's go back to the Roobet hot wallet, friends.
I want to talk to Howie.
I think I've covered most
Howie,
of
you
what
in the
I wanted
chat?
to mention, but I think it's time to prep us up for the later parts of the series, okay? For instance, we discovered new tools that were actually going to help us actually uncover the money flow that's going between these accounts. Instead of going through it last time where I spent like 20 minutes fuddling around with random, Bitcoin wallet addresses, really just trying to keep you in the loop. If you've noticed one thing in this entire situation is some of these wallets are named. Well, that's because when you make an account on Etherscan or BSC Scan or whatever, you're able to put name tags on various wallets. And the big benefit of this is as we continue our investigations and people are plotted on our map, I guess, of people that we've discovered, wallets that we've uncovered to belong allegedly to certain creators, we can map out transactions from random people. And sometimes you come across some wild. Important here is we're going to use something called explorer.bitcoin.
Yeah, we watched the CoffeeZilla first.
Again, I show you these tools because I don't want you to just take my word for it. I want you to do this
yourself. I'll take your word for it.
So go in here, toss in this address, hit enter, and as you go around, you see all these systems. What's important is Ethereum mainnet, okay? We're going to look at the ETH transactions between the Roobet hot wallet. So if we go to the money flow in this case, and we go to something called Sankey, Sankey simplifies a lot of things and shows us this being the Roobet hot wallet. So you can see where Roobet is getting their money flowed in from, and also where they're flowing a chunk of their money out to. In fact, according to the Sankey, the largest account is OXE6752D54. If you actually open this wallet address up, copy this, and then go to Etherscan, if you go to Etherscan and put this address in, you can see that we've actually titled this as Roobet's biggest whale. Again, what's important here, all right, to really understand, and we found out this is a whale because when you put in Roobet's hot wallet account, which is OXC94EBB328, again, this is OXC94.
I wonder how Nelk and Steve will respond.
Almost 1 million transactions. This is the wallet
that's the way to win. You just don't, and then people forget.
When I'm depositing money, and then
they'll just defend you for you,
money, not really depositing.
Like in the chat tonight.
But of course, when I look
just let your community do your job.
Outputting to in the largest quantity is OXC94EBB. Sorry, to OXE6752D54. That's where the Roobet hot wallet is sending the largest amount of Ethereum to. So again, let's go back and go to the second one, which is OX68DC.
Didn't Steve scrub his YouTube account? Did he? I don't know. I don't watch Steve. Let's see.
Graph.
All right.
Warning.
Oh, he's got 96 videos. He's doing just fine. Look how happy he looks. That's the face of a man who loves Roobet. Buying the guy who killed Osama bin Laden a truck. Nice. Lit.
this together in part 6, the finale, will be phasebanks.ethereum. Now, phasebanks Ethereum, if you go in, you can type in phasebanks.eth, and this belongs to our buddy FazeBanks. It's a public-facing wallet, which currently has $207,000 put into it.
Not bad.
Again, you can see that it is phasebanks.ethereum. So it's a wallet that is public, you know.
Can I read that comment real quick? We're just gonna let that slide. One guy left a comment on this. Why is there even a comment feature? Who would use this? Ricky G, been a huge fan, hook me up. Hey, Juliano, I don't think he's gonna be doing that, but Godspeed.
Into his account.
Easy tier 1 lizard,
If you go all the way to
Blake,
the
and
first
Tsukiyomi.
thing, what is that? Roobets' second largest whale. So to understand, Roobets' hot wallet, which is putting the second largest amount of its transactions to the whale here, that's the first transaction that our buddy FazeBanks gets. Now, what does FazeBanks do? Again, let's translate this to actual UTC time. He gets this on the February the 25th, right? So around midnight UTC. In less than 20 minutes after receiving money from Roobets' second largest whale, FazeBanks sends out money to the contract for CryptoPunks. I think that's the actual like C token, the contract for it. OpenSea registering, you know, the actual name over here. So and then he gets another amount. So Roobets' second largest whale then sends money to FazeBanks, who in less than 10 minutes later funnels it more into CryptoPunks.
Man, what the?
And this isn't small amounts either.
Send something my way. Let's go, Howie.
Was $58,000. Currently,
sending
worth almost
50K for nothing.
This second transaction is almost double, 62 Ethereum. You click on that shit, and that's almost 100. That's 111 grand on the day of its transaction. Currently 204,000. Now, why would FazeBanks receive money from the second largest whale of Roobets? If you look at the money flow, and then immediately after start purchasing CryptoPunks, and then I don't know. I mean, you know, if you promoted them on Twitter and they messed up in value, like I don't know. It's a weird coincidence. Am I right or am I right? I also love how when I got quipped at on August 23rd by him on Twitter, somehow when you look at his blockchain, he's selling this stuff around that same date, like these same offer punks for sale, offer punk for sale, offer punk for sale. Definitely during its peak mania. I don't know why that is. I mean, if you believe in a project, don't you want to hold on? Cyclical ladder. This is OX7D, Banks' wallet. Banks' wallet receives the largest amount from OX68 DCEC.
Howie.
Who is that? Well,
it's Howie. It's Howie.
OX68 DCEC is again Roobets'
yeah, baby.
Whale, right? So
Let's go.
Wait a minute. The most money he's getting is from the second largest whale for Roobet? Kind of weird. This account, OXC94EBB, if you take this in, go back to Ethereum scan, drop that in, belongs to the Roobet hot wallet. So the two accounts that give Banks the most money is from the Roobet hot wallet, which again he has a partnership with, but the first transaction is from the account that's the second largest whale. So what Roobet's hot wallet is transacting to, the second largest account. All right, the second largest transaction flow. And also, to remember, the second largest whale suspiciously did deposit into the intermediary wallet for Doom 13. Again, could just be the most likeliest of coincidences. From the Roobet hot
I don't really know how
another
Doom
account
13 fits into this, I'll be honest.
To banks.
Seems like a worthless side
later,
character.
CryptoPunks are being bought. Listen, I'm done with this, okay? I'm not going to jump too hard down this rabbit hole yet. Because the reason I mention any of this is these transactions, FazeBanks' account specifically, not any other account from Phase, just specifically FazeBanks and various other users like Alan, because we've ended up tracing down what we believe to be his wallet. These are going to play key roles.
Yeah, there's 6 parts to this, I believe.
This video. The only reason I'm
not out
introducing
yet, though.
them is to really show you how deep
and
interconnect. It's a shady, skeezy business to get into. And then when you look at who these wallet accounts are transacting to and where the money is flowing, then the picture starts to become clear.
And it's a great picture. A masterpiece,
I'm gonna tie
even.
this video off and lead you hopefully into the next video done by my good friend CoffeeZilla. So if you want to check this sketchy game,
not soon enough though. This is a really interesting one because of how much money it is. I think this is, if I could be wrong, I think this is what, double what CSGO Lotto was? CSGO Lotto I still believe is the biggest influencer-led scam. CSGO Lotto I think in total was like, what did they get, like 10, 15 million or something? This one's significantly more. Easy tier 1 magnets. This was boring. I don't know how people find that boring. I mean, I guess if you really don't care about scams, it's not fun, but I find it so fascinating. I love learning about that shit. I think it's great. Well, everyone who was involved in CSGO Lotto is still making content. What do you mean, man? Like I said, people don't care about getting scammed. They don't. You could go back in the VOD and read chat. They don't care about getting scammed. Everyone who got in the ass by CSGO Lotto is still watching those same content creators. Some of them are still streaming on Twitch. Others still on YouTube. Like, I mean, it is what it is, man. Thanks to Resub Van Ray and Nashty. I just like all of emo. Okay.
Hey!
Emo's not dead.
I'm Raven, your acid bath princess of the darkness.
This is a classic.
Has there ever been a teenage subculture as reviled and misunderstood as the humble emo? Listened to My Chemical Romance and exhibited some worrying self-roping tendencies. But all that moping and the music that inspired it actually has a complex history.
When aliens
While no one
created
knows
us.
the name of emo's Patient Zero, they were likely a member of the Washington hardcore punk scene in the 1980s. Bands like Minor Threat, Fugazi, and State of Alert were producing 3-chord
I've never heard of them.
for small, devoted, even expressly anarchist, like these two specimens who decry the woes of capitalism while hanging out in a mall, with none other than a somehow still very old Bernie Sanders.
Wait, that's Bernie Sanders?
What does it say, or does it mean anything? Or?
What the?
It's just basically.
Where's his emo phase?
To heck with society.
Yeah, to heck with capitalism. Ronald Reagan can go fudge himself in his bunghole. By 1985, the DC punk scene was in need of a makeover, as it had caught a well-earned reputation for being moronically violent, mostly owing to the fact that their concerts looked like a cross between a Black Friday stampede and an Indian train carriage.
I've always hated mosh pits and walls of death.
Call it slamming.
It's really embarrassing, to be honest.
And some call it the scam.
Like to watch.
But
it's probably fun to be
in.
in.
Dancing, because that's normally what you're doing. They just call this more or less a slam. It's just keep keep moving your arms and stuff.
During what was known as Revolution
cool.
Summer, bands like Rites of Spring and Embrace offered a new direction for the genre. These artists wrote more introspective lyrics and rejected the scene's political posturing for a whinier, more emotional perspective. Thrasher magazine called this style emo-core. This would set a precedent that would follow the emo plague all the way into its heyday, with bands constantly uncomfortable with being labelled as sad sacks screaming about their feelings. Despite this, the post-hardcore
Yeah, but that's great.
emo
We
virus
love to
spread
scream
from
about
coast to
feelings.
coast over the next decade, giving birth to a brood of ear-assaulting sub-genres. There were the radio-friendly incel jams of nerd rock. There was screamo music, emo's fun-loving cousin, whose close association
I don't know about that last one.
Undoing. But it was bands like Sunny Day Real Estate and Jawbreaker that charted the course to what emo would become, producing punk-adjacent hits with pleasing guitar and lyrics dripping with personal drama. It wasn't really until 2001 where the iconic image of emohood solidified like bacon grease on the oven floor of popular culture. Jimmy Eat World released the
Hey, Jimmy Eat World!
album,
They weren't
emo. Bleed,
They were
huge
emo?
mainstream hit that was as irritating
That was an
as it
emo
was
band?
Billboard friendly. Suddenly, record executives realized that emos were more than just basement-dwelling dweebs and were in fact a lucrative growth market.
Now we're cooking. This is the emo I remember.
As broadband
Not Jimmy
became
Eat World.
more widespread, the irritating screech of a
That's just
dial-up
mainstream
connection was
radio
replaced by
shit
the
from back in the
equally grating
day.
sound of teenagers expressing themselves.
Real emo is
Though it
like
was
Broken
arguably the first
Side.
subculture to truly spread through the internet. Websites like LiveJournal and MySpace acted as the sweaty public toilet door handles, accelerating emo's bubonic burst into mainstream culture. But most of all, these online spaces were responsible for disseminating what became known as the iconic emo look. The emo
That was
look
actually
centered
Taylor
on
Swift.
necessities and tons of optional extras. But if one is to truly understand the emo, one must become the emo. But I believe in committing.
Looks pretty cool,
and that's
actually.
What emo's about, you know, committing to
Looking
like
good.
a fucking idiot. Eye makeup was a must. Slathered
It kinda looks
above
like the kind of guy that would
and
offer you a really
to
shitty
bring
deal
out the
for your
skull
soul.
that lives inside all of our face meat. Black jeans that looked like they were painted on were also a must, and could be accessorized with a studded belt, which could be worn anywhere on the body, provided it was at a 45-degree angle. Black lipstick was optional, but it was encouraged. A fashion choice which only ever reminds me of this line from The Sopranos.
Look like a Puerto Rican whore. Make me sick.
So?
Band t-shirts were also very important, but anything black would suffice. are also these separate arm sleeve things which make it look like your arms are wearing lingerie. Another optional extra was turning your lower lip into a playground for bacteria, as well as a target for any school bully and or passing crow. Of course, the most important part of the emo armor is dyed black hair, straightened to obscure teenage
bullies,
and to make
were
sure
bullies
you
known to
in the mirror as little as
pull
possible.
on lip piercings?
Emos paved the way for many norms of social media. By 2004, record labels had fully weaponized the emo virus. In a space of 2 years, it would go from being a public health concern to a full-blown pandemic. There were the wildly successful wine pop stylings of Fall Out Boy, a band of 5 members, only 4 chins. And there were the theatre school
That was never an emo band.
Disco, an act famous for their obnoxiously long song titles and that one bit in their one song where a guy says a naughty no-no word.
What a shame the poor groom's bride is a whore.
Sensing the dark winds blowing towards the
This is like a very off look at emo back in the early days. He's missing gold, like actual gold. Fall Out Boy was not an emo band. They were a pop rock radio band.
Infected themselves with the emo virus.
I was on the forefront of emo.
Depressing lyrics with their 6 times platinum album American Idiot. But emo's commercial peak came on the 12th of September 2006 in the form of a literal parade. My Chemical Romance's ode to a cancer death fever dream somehow became an enormous mainstream hit. For months following its release, it was inescapable. It was playing on the radio, on music video channels, on LimeWire, and from the back of a school bus, playing on the tinny speakers of someone's Motorola Razr. And if that one sounds too specific, that's because I was the one playing it.
Now, emo is a term you may or may not have come across. It's short for emotional.
Oh my God.
Parents about the so-called emo
I remember this shit.
Read, what is emo?
Well, Barb, this is something that has come out of the internet and into music and the lives of Utah teens.
News reports on emos were designed to terrify parents,
Slava?
focusing on the subculture.
Exactly, he's missing all of the actual emo gold, like Silverstein and shit.
About gender bending.
Gender bending is also part of the emo culture. Boys wear girl pants and makeup.
Girl pants!
But like any teenage culture, emo was specifically designed to piss off parents, so its vilification in the mainstream media probably helped it with its target demographic. But emo's real downfall was orchestrated by the very forces that brought it to prominence.
When did emo? That is a good question. I never even thought to think of that.
And the confessional blog, but it also brought another internet pastime to the fore: cyberbullying. Being an emo kid in 2006
That's why they went
wearing
extinct?
a MAGA hat to your liberal arts lecture. You were kind of asked
bullied
for every
extinction?
extended fringe. But the single most egregious case of online emo-phobia came in the form of National Emo Kid Beatdown Day, cleverly scheduled for the 6th of June 2006. Get it? You get it. From MySpace to 4chan, the happy hate crime holiday spread like septus from a septum piercing. And while there were no recorded emo pummelings on the day, anti-emo violence became a genuine global problem. It was officially declared a hate crime here in the UK, and there were actually roaming gangs of anti-emo vigilantes in Mexico City.
This young emo
Also, 666 was the Falador Massacre Day. God rest its soul.
But as attackers
RuneScape history.
But if I were to retroactively point to the final digital nail in emo's cyber coffin, it was this, where it became a punchline for YouTube's favourite sexual predator. Sorry, I mean YouTube's favourite alleged sexual predator.
You know what? This one I believe. Maybe Onision really did kill it.
It might be time to return to your natural colour and force yourself to like jazz or something.
God damn it, I'm tired of this song.
The label became so toxic that it even sunk one of the era's most profitable film franchises, with Tobey Maguire's emo dance number in Spider-Man 3 being the only thing that anyone remembers from that cinematic stillbirth. So after applying a healthy
that should have given new birth to emo, honestly.
Rash disappeared as quickly as it developed. It survived as an insult and a meme a lot longer than it actually lived in cultural relevance. And ironically, that's probably what kept its memory alive long enough to inspire genuine nostalgia. Just 2 years ago, Post Malone dropped Welcome to the Black Parade during a DJ set, and look at the crowd, they're loving it. And you know what?
I mean, the music is still good. Like, I don't.
My brain,
you can shit on some of the emo culture, but the music still slaps.
It's not really good, but like it's an anthem. I mean, it's not Mozart or Ambient Nonsense 12 by Aphex Conjoined Twin, but it's good.
I still listen to it. I still like it.
Good. It doesn't.
I mean, you can enjoy your Playboy Cardi. And I'll enjoy some of the old school boner jams from Silverstein and shit. Serena Williams' new home with a trophy room and art gallery.
Hello, AD. Welcome to my home. Come on in.
It's me, Charlie. Thanks for inviting me. So does she have like a wacky house, or why'd you recommend it? You just a Serena Williams fan?
Amazing people that worked with her that was able to kind of get inside my brain and pick.
I want to say this is a really cool chair. Like, I don't think this is practical. This doesn't look comfortable. You're just sitting on like a bunch of little, whatever these are, what, like balls or something? Little legs? It's like a bunch of little Elmo legs sticking out, but I love the design. It's like a festering blister. Oh, this actually is Elmo's. Is it? Oh my god, these are eyes in the nose. It is Elmo's. Wait, that's cool. Take it back. That's the best goddamn chair I've ever seen. That's some Ed Gein shit.
And show you.
She's like the Ed Gein of Sesame Street.
Most homes actually have a formal living room, and I didn't want to lose that aspect, but I also didn't want a formal living room.
Like there's Lancer, Tristan, Rondog, Weezer, and Tier 1 Croto.
And I love, you know,
Prime
all
Boogie,
kinds of like artists.
Sizzle,
I find it really
and
cool.
Dionysus.
So I was like, what if I had a formal living room, but instead of it being a living room, it's called an art gallery. So this is our gallery. It actually starts from the front door. This piece is one of my favorite pieces. It's from Radcliffe Bailey. I have a few pieces of his. I think it's called the Astro because this is actually a rock from the moon. So that's really,
yeah, but that's not the
it's
same
a really
experience.
Fantastic wide piece for the entrance of the foyer. And then we have our gallery. So we kind of walk in, a little bit of Cause chair.
Wait, the Elmos are dead.
Stuff. This is a Leonardo Drew.
Jesus Christ.
Another Radcliffe Bailey. These doors are actually from Nepal, which is really cool. My favorite piece, not really my favorite piece, but this is actually my art. I do art, and I paint, and
These are the
really
Resub Good Deal and Razzle Dazzle.
This
the
is a
Tier
really
1.
cool piece with it's a needle actually.
Nintendo. Resub
So
Arbiter.
it's kind of like a 3D piece, which is really cool. First, I felt like a living room needs a library, a little bit of a library.
Oh, of course,
here,
of course.
And also needs a piano. I wanted.
You
a
have
piano
The
that
Outsiders?
My daughter would be able
That was
to
my
play,
favorite book.
But I have a Titus Kafour piece, which I'm super excited about. That's coming soon. So the gallery is actually not close to being done. But it's
well, yeah, you're
it's
missing
work in
my
progress, and
portraits.
I think galleries are always work in progress.
I do incredible portraits, and I don't see any here.
That's coming and that's being more complicated than me. I'm pretty simple, so we'll say this one's famous. And these are actually
What does it
done by
mean?
Brendan Marshall, who's a wonderful, wonderful artist. I have some art upstairs by him as well. Really kind of modern, cool vibes, which I really love.
So it's just
okay. Now I'm going to show you the.
It's just you two doing handstands, then? Like, what do you? I don't understand. Is there like a message behind it?
Here are
that is a lot of
some my
trophies.
trophies.
Oh, she's even got my logo in here. Ah, so she's a fan. You in the chat, Serena. Good taste.
And then some really cool pieces that really mean a lot to me.
I own Water Drops. It's copyrighted.
I don't keep a lot of my Grand Slam
I'm gonna have to sue her
trophies
now.
here. I do see an Australian Open trophy. Oh, wait. There's a US Open trophy. Okay. Here's one. Oh, that's 2002. Okay.
Thanks to Resub Croesus, Mythic, and the Gifts of Skage. It's coming along great,
I'm
Rip.
so bad with trophies. Oh, here's another Wimbledon trophy. I'm so bad with this. So this is what it was like when you first won Wimbledon. You got a small trophy. And
That's a really weird trophy. It's like a little
been
shield.
Like 4 or 5 years since I won Wimbledon, and I understand they moved it to the bigger one. So this is like early 2000s, and this is like, I don't know, 2010, 12. I don't know when I won. Here's
Looks
another
like a
Australian
plate.
Open. I won that. Yeah, I see a second place trophy, but I'm gonna put that one in the trash.
These trophies aren't very cool.
We don't.
Pretty plain.
My office is always extremely messy because I have so much stuff.
Pretty cool office.
I probably should have made a bigger office, but I was like, I don't work that much at home. This is my office. This
Have
is
Serena join
a
Moisty
lot of
Sports.
Things happen, a lot of meetings happen, and
I mean, yeah, if she's interested, we can talk.
happens in my karaoke room, so I'm going to show you that right now. I wanted a lot of detail
Easy
on the
to
wall.
give
I
subs.
wanted like really cool
Chill.
surprise elements in the house. Paper
The
that's like a
Resub
3D
Mist.
wallpaper, so there's texture to it. So when you feel it, you can feel all this.
Kind of looks like cat litter.
Comes with it.
I wouldn't have done a
media
textured
room,
wallpaper.
In our bar, in our club room,
But that's
is
just
all
me.
in one. And these chairs are actually super functional. I got them in Europe.
Did Serena
They
call?
twist 360.
No, it was my dad talking about
actually lay back
football.
completely, which is
Well, that was pretty underwhelming. Why did you want me to see that so badly? There wasn't really anything goofy in there, except for the dead Elmo chair. Oh, so you think that's a weapon? I got that wrong. This?
So, how y'all doing? It's
Hey,
Jared.
hey, Jared.
Which one of these things doesn't belong? Right? I want to just talk about this thought process that I keep hearing, right? And there's two sides of it. You hear that knives aren't weapons, right?
What?
They're tools, and they can be used as weapons, much like this hammer here, which can be used as a blunt impact weapon, pretty easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty efficient one. And then there's the other side of it that says that knives are weapons that can be used as tools, right? The first one is...
We're getting real existential.
Common, but I don't think either are quite accurate.
Thank you, Prime
Because
Rick
you have to
in the
think about
resub.
knife. You actually have to think about the design of this knife. This Benchmade
I like Backwater
2019
Gospel.
right
I've seen it like 3 times.
Yes, it can be used as a weapon. This can be used as definitely a deadly weapon in the right hands. In the wrong hands, I guess. But... it wasn't designed that way. The design aspect behind this knife really wasn't going towards weapon. That really wasn't. That isn't what this knife was designed.
What is
for.
so? What am I learning?
This, on the other hand, is a Benchmade SOCP dagger, and this was primarily designed as a weapon. That was the right hands. Same thing with this Kursor Blur right here.
Is this just a showcase of some knives he has? What am I watching?
Effective cutting tool. So I think you actually.
What about the hammer?
Is most of them will do all of those jobs. They won't do it as well, but they'll still do it. How sick is that? Y'all have a go on.
I feel like I have learned absolutely nothing. I walk away from this video with the exact same perspectives. Knives are sharp. Really what it boils down to. I don't know what the takeaway was. And with sharp objects, you can cut someone or you can cut something. It just didn't change anything. I don't understand. It was just like showing me some knives he has, I guess. All right.